Welcome back. We are ready for the I do portion of our lesson, and you can see right here we have a blank area model with just the model itself, and we're going to use that model to be able to multiply two multi-digit whole numbers. Ms. Owens, what do you think we should do to be able to use this model with the multiplication?
So thinking back to our activator, and so our activator had 4 factors on the outside that we used to multiply together to get our partial products on the inside. But I'm looking here and I'm seeing that we only have 2 factors. So how do we get from those 2 factors now to the 4 factors that we're going to need for our area model?
Could we decompose those 2 factors?
So I do think we could decompose. And so decompose just means to break apart. So if I'm looking at 52, how can I decompose those into, now from 1 factor to 2 factors? So I'm looking at 52 and I know that the 5 is actually in the tens place, and so it's really representing 50. So if I'm going to decompose this, I can say, well, that 5 represents 50, and then the 2 in the ones place is representing 2. So it's really saying 50 plus 2, and so now decomposed the 52.
So through that decomposing, we're kind of putting those numbers in expanded form, right?
Exactly, and so we would do the same thing for 47. So 47, I'm going to decompose those the same way. And so that 4 is again in the tens place, so it's really representing 40. And then the 7 is in the ones place, so I'm just going to have 7. And so now it's 40 plus 7. So now I have those 4 factors that I need to kind of start completing our area model.
Beautiful. So we can take those 4 factors now and we can place them outside of that box so that we can then begin the multiplication process. But before we can multiply, remember, we've got to decompose, break those numbers apart, as Ms. Owens just modeled for us. And so why don't we go ahead and do that, Ms. Owens? I'll let you go ahead and put those numbers. Does it really matter where I put those numbers, do you think, as far as the box is concerned?
So we need to kind of keep our decomposed numbers on the same side of the box. So with the 50 and the 2, we need to put them together on the same side of the box. And then because I'm multiplying 52 to the 47, then we need to make sure that our 47 that's been decomposed is on the top of the box. So I'm going to put my 40 and then my 7. That way I'm multiplying each of the different factors together.
So in this case, because we're multiplying one 2-digit number by another 2-digit number, you can actually see that the digit that was in the tens place, in this case the 4, which represents 40, and the 5, which represents 50, are right next to one another.
All right, and so then once we have all that set up, this is where we actually start multiplying our factors together. So now we have our 50 and our 40, and since they are together here, we're going to multiply those first. And so we're going to say 50 times 40, and we would say 2,000. So
why would you say 2,000? How did you get that?
So I'm kind of thinking back to my factors or my simple, easy, what we would think multiplication. So I know that 5 times 4 is 20, right? But then I have these 2 zeros, so then I can put those on the end in order to give me my 2,000.
Okay, beautiful. And so we can then move on to one of these other boxes. And so here I see that 50. Let's say I want to fill in this box right here. I could do 50 times 7, or like Ms. Owens said, I could recall my multiplication facts and focus on the 5. Say 5 times 7 gives me 35, and then I can bring that 0. There's only one 0 here. There's no zeros over here, so I'm going to bring that 0 back into play and drop it right there. So 50 times 7 is 350.
All right, and so then once we've done that, we can go down to our second factor decompose from our 52. So now we're gonna say 2 times 40, and again, using our multiplication facts, I know that 2 times 4 is 8. I don't have a 0 here, but I do have a 0 up here. So I'm gonna put it behind my 8. And so 2 times 40 is now 80.
All right, beautiful. And we can carry on with our final box. And I could say, well, 2 times 7 is 14. And I don't have a 0 here, and I don't have a 0 here. So there's no zeros to bring into play there. And what we have just come up with are 4 partial products. Those partial products are 2,000, 350, 80, and 14. What should we do with those partial products themselves?
So I'm thinking back to when we are multiplying. So when we're multiplying, if we do a standard algorithm, then we would add together, right? But here we're using an area model. So these are partial products. So what do I need to do with a partial product? I need to add them all together in order to get my final product. So I have 2,000, 350, 80, and 14. And so we just need to write those.
Yep, so we're just going to stack those partial products nice and neat, make them look as pretty as we can.
And make sure that your place values are all lined up together.
That's right, I want all my ones places to be in line. I want all my tens places, my hundreds, and my thousands.
Perfect. And so now we're just going to add all those together. So 0, 0, 0 plus 4 is going to give us 4. And then I have a 0 plus 5, which is 5. 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 plus 1 gives me 14, but I need to carry that 1 or that 10 over. And so now I have 1 plus 0 plus 3 is 4. And then I don't have anything that I need to add to my 2, so I'm just going to bring it down. And that's going to give me my final product of 52 times 47 gives us 2,444.
And so that's our first I do. We're going to do one more I do real quick because when we get to 5th grade, we have to be able to multiply at least a 3-digit whole number by up to a 2-digit whole number as well. And that's what we're going to take a look here with our second I do. So in this case, we've got 245 times 95. And we're going to repeat the same process very quickly here. 245 can be decomposed as so. The 2 represents 200. The 4 represents 40. And the 5 represents, well, just 5 because the 5 is in the ones place. That 95 represents 9, or the 9 represents 9 tens, which is 90. And then the 5 is in the ones place, so that is just 5 ones.
Perfect. And so now that we have all of these factors, we need to look at our area model. Now, our other area model only had 4 boxes, but this one now has 6. So you really need to think about where you're going to place all of your factors. Well, I'm looking here, and I'm seeing that I have 3 factors down here, but in the other one we only had 2. So do I still need to place these on this side, or is there a different way for me to place these 3 factors? Where would I need?
So technically, we could actually rotate this image around if we wanted to, so that instead of long left to right, it was long top to bottom. But we're just going to leave it here to keep things simple. And since I've got 3 boxes up top, I'm going to want to put these 3 factors right here. So I'm going to put 200, 40, 5, and then that leaves me with 90 and 5. So I'll place those right here. And next.
All right, so now that we've done that, we've got all our factors placed. Now we're just going to go back and start multiplying again. So we have 90 times 200. Going back to my multiplication facts, 9 times 2 is 18. And then I have 3 zeros. I'm gonna put those behind my 18. And then I'm just gonna keep going down the road. 90 times 40, so 9 times 4 is gonna give me that 36. I have those 2 zeros, so I'm gonna go ahead and put those right there. And then 90 times 5, 9 times 5, 45, I have 1 zero, so I'm going to put it right behind there. And then going down, we have 5 times 200, 5 times 2, 10. I don't have a zero, but I do have them up here. So I'm going to put 2 zeros, so 5 times 200 is 1,000. 5 times 40, 5 times 4, 20. 0, I'm going to put it on the end, and then 5 times 5, multiplication facts, guys, that's 25. So now I have filled in all of my partial products. What do we need to do next?
We need to combine those partial products, because over here, our question is, what is the product of 245 and 95? It's not asking what are the partial products, it's asking what is the final product. So we need to combine those. And so I'm gonna go ahead and write those out real quick. That is 18,000, 3,600, 450, then I've got 1,000, 225. And of course, to get that final product, we just add them together. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 0 plus 5 is 5. Plus 0 plus 0 is still 5. Plus 2 is 7. Then I have 0 plus 6 is 6. Plus the 4 is 10. Plus the 0 is still 10. Plus the 2 is 12. But I need to carry the 1, or specifically that 10. And so I'm going to place it right here on top of the thousands column. So I've got 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. And I'm going to carry my 1 again, that 10, place it on top of the 10,000s column. That's 1 plus 1 is 2. And I've got nothing else in the 10,000s column, so that's all I put right there. And I should, of course, put a comma to make sure that my number looks nice and neat and pretty. So 245 times 95 gives me a product of 23,275.